What's going on?
That's John Lee, the current champ.
He's never been defeated. Holds all sorts of records, including the fastest kill.
Welcome back to Thinking Critical. This is Wes, and today we're going to be reviewing Criminal #1 by Image Comics. The creative team on this is Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. They've worked together for a long time, most recently on Kill or Be Killed. But now they're moving back to an older IP, Criminal, that they've been working on for, I believe, a decade or so. There's multiple stories in this series so far. Starting off with the cover, it's pretty nondescript, but it basically fits in line with the rest of the books in the series. The character on the front is Mac the Mauler. He's an ex-professional wrestler. So we'll get right into it. We start out, and we notice first off is the artwork's really good. It's more realistic than comic superhero art, but it's not super realistic. So it provides a good contrast. It's very dark. Everything kind of looks sketchy. We see a kid breaking into a house, and he's moving into a dresser. He's getting something out of a drawer, and then somebody interrupts him. And we see that it's an older man, and he calls him Philip. And he says, "Oh, hey, Grandpa," and you realize it's his grandson's breaking into breaking into his house to steal something from his grandpa. And he's wanting to get some cake with his grandson. And then they're having a little conversation, and the grandpa's kind of getting confused. It appears he has dementia, or maybe Alzheimer's or something like that. So his memory's a little faded, and he's not recognizing things, and he's forgetting that the boy is there. And then he sees what the boy was after, and he pulls out this beautiful diamond necklace, and he sits there, and he starts reminiscing about his time in Tokyo when he stole it with his friend Sal. So they go and explain the origins of this diamond necklace. And then as the old man's reminiscing, he realizes that the kid is grabbed it. He's there to steal it. So he calls him a little shit. He goes to jump on him and to take the necklace back. As while they're in the middle of the confrontation, the kid grabs an ashtray and strikes him in the head and starts beating him down, kicking him, calling his grandpa a stupid motherfucker. And he grabs the necklace and he starts walking outside, and his accomplice asks him what happened, and then you find out that he wasn't his grandson. He was just pretending. The old man had thought he was his grandkid, but he wasn't. And they move out, and you soon find out they go to a pawn shop to get money for the necklace, and you find out they probably shouldn't have done that. And we find out why they stole the necklace. It was to break out one of them's dad. His name is Teague Lawless, and the father's kind of proud of his son for being able to bail him out until he realizes how exactly he got the money. And so 5 days later, we move ahead, and he's driving to go meet the local crime boss, and he kind of explains that he beat the crap out of his son for stealing the necklace and putting the old man in the hospital. He broke his arm, messed up a couple of ribs. And he finally ends up in this seedy bar, and he's meeting like the local crime boss, and they're talking about what happened. And the crime boss is explaining that, he thought it was kind of funny that he put him in the hospital, but it turns out that Mac the Mauler was a friend of his dad's, and he wasn't allowed to actually, no one was allowed to actually touch him. So they're talking, and he knows his son made a mistake. He explains that he kind of took it out on him. And the crime boss is explaining to him, well, he needs $5,000 to give to the pawn shop that he sold the necklace to, and then another $20,000 for the old man's pain and suffering since they put him in a hospital. So $25,000 total. This sets us up on the story to move ahead. Teague Lawless has got to come up with $25,000. They explain later on that he's like a career criminal, a lifelong criminal. He ends up going to one of his old partner's funerals. He didn't realize he was dead, and he's hoping to find new accomplices so he can come up with this $25,000. So here on the very last page, I think they do something pretty interesting, because there's really no positive characters. Like, I guess Teague is the protagonist, but he's like he's a bad guy. He beat the crap out of his son. He broke his arm. He's portrayed as a lifelong criminal. No one trusts him. But what they do tell you that there is going to be some type of redemption for the character when he says, or it says, in a few months he would fall in love for the first time in his life, and by the next summer he'd be dead. His brains splattered across the wall. I think it's pretty good. It's pretty apt for this story because it is really negative. It is dark, but it lets you know that something good is going to happen to this guy. There is going to be some type of redemption. If you like really gritty, dirty, seedy underworld type stories, comic books, you're going to like this a lot. I think it's excellent. It's not really my cup of tea. Yeah, I'm more into superheroes and science fiction and westerns, things of that nature. But for what this is, it's really good. The art's awesome. It really fits the tone of the story. The colors do a great job of setting the atmosphere of dirty, grimy, places that you wouldn't want to be in real life. So for all that, I would give this like a 4 out of 5, but this is like a double-sized issue number 1. So this is 40 pages for $4. So let me know what you guys think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Is this your type of story or not? You can let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. I would appreciate it very much. It helps us attract more views for the channel. Subscribe for future commentary, comic book news, and reviews. And don't forget to ring the bell for notifications. If you want to talk comics, movies, and much, much more, you can follow me on Twitter at Wes_from_TC. With that, Salamat Po, and I'm out.